Jenny from the block. You'll be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. You'll be fooled.
Hello and welcome back to Ask Jenn on the Uprising Network. I'm your host and your most honest homegirl, Jenn. We have a guest today, and this one hit the road for me, so I feel special. I don't get a lot of guests that come from out of town, so I promise I'm going to make sure that I make it very, very good. Today's guest embodies the saying, home is where the heart is. With the background in corporate marketing, in 2020, when the world was shutting down and we were all confined to our home, she realized loungewear deserved a little more flair. Scaling her business from her dining room to a 7,000 square foot warehouse in 4 years, she reimagined the idea that fancy clothes were reserved for special occasions and night out. Welcome to Ask Jenn, fellow Midwest girl, mom, and the visionary behind Fancy Homebody, Vanessa Bouie.
Yay! That was really good.
That was good.
That was
I
good.
kept it short. I kept it sweet, and I kept
was
it
like,
concise. That's
That's
you.
me.
I want people to know, like, this is our first time meeting in
Yes.
person. Last time we were supposed to meet in person, I was too busy being Norbit with the wine cooler in my hand. I was having a good time. It was at Mia Ray's 40th birthday party.
Not Norman.
I was, baby, them drinks was unlimited, and as long as my hands was empty, I had one in it.
Yes, I feel
I
like
had
I
to Uber
saw
home
you.
that night.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. I parked in a valet. I had to come pick it up the next day.
Yeah, a time was had.
If I had on the right attire, I would have did the splits for sure. Like, that's how geeked I was. Like, that was a good party.
It was such a happy time. It was a happy time.
And you always be happy for your homegirl. We're going to talk about that a little later. A good party. Vanessa, I have watched you rise to fame on Instagram, but I feel like I don't know much about you. You from Ohio?
I am originally from Cincinnati.
What?
Yes.
I feel like we all hear the Chicago.
I've been in Chicago since college.
Mhm.
So that's where I went to school and never left. Met a boy and stayed.
That's how it goes. So I'm guessing like you a Ohio State fan. You grew up an Ohio State fan.
Very much so.
Okay.
Who got a problem with it?
Me. I went to Michigan State. Go Green.
Oh, Michigan State is.
You said, okay. So now I'm taking offense to that. You don't see me as a.
I don't. You're not. You're actually not. You're not. But Michigan, we do not play that.
Oh, yeah.
Not in my house. I'm literally the only person in my entire family that didn't go to Ohio State.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We got to share up. I love that.
Yeah.
F Michigan. Okay. What was something from your childhood that you think prepared you for the life that you have now?
Oh, wow. I feel like structure. My parents, that was... they had a very structured upbringing of me and my sister, where I always figured that things needed to be done in an orderly fashion. Even though I felt like I was kind of the wild child, so to speak.
I feel like having an older sister give you space and room to be a wilder child.
Yes, and I think
I have two older sisters, and baby, Hove did that, so you didn't have to go through that. Them being bad saved my life.
Exactly.
I got away with a lot more.
A lot. But I feel like, so I used to push boundaries a lot, but I still had that structure of school, work hard, good, get good grades. Always wanted to work, always wanted to make money. Like my first job was at 14.
What did you do?
I worked at Kings Island.
Wow, what's Kings Island?
It's a amusement park.
Oh, what a fun job for a 14-year-old.
Yeah. I worked at an amusement park, and then I worked at a museum. So, yeah. I was always a working girl.
Job and creative.
Mm-hmm.
When you just mentioned that you always push boundaries, it made me think like, okay, you were the first person in your family to go to an art school. How was your family? How did they feel about that?
They were like, girl, here you go, having to be different. Like, I felt like my sister, she never gave them as many problems as I did, okay? She went to Ohio State, and,
she did all the right things.
Yeah, she did all the right things.
You with your art school.
I was like, I want to go to this small art school called Columbia. They're like, Columbia in New York? No, Columbia College in Chicago. Yeah, so it was like a guidance counselor who said that was my personality match.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think counselors doing that no more.
Not at all. Not at all. And I had gotten into Ohio State. I got into a lot of other colleges, but they said that my personality match was this small art school in Chicago. And what was so cool about Columbia is that it's not a typical campus. So it's downtown, and like the buildings are kind of scattered
Ooh,
about.
that's nice.
So you have to learn the city and, so.
Did you take the train?
Girl, everywhere. And that was a different time too. Like that was, 07 when I first moved to Chicago, and a lot safer than
Okay, you want going to O Block.
Exactly. But yeah, I used to be around that city, man.
I know that's right. I know going to college in Chicago had to be a good time.
Yes.
What was your degree in?
Marketing communications.
Marketing and communications. How useful.
Okay,
for the Fancy Homebody.
Yes.
What was your first job after college in the marketing world?
So I decided to go back to Cincinnati. I got a job at Landor, which is a global branding agency. So it was like, I wouldn't say dream job because I ain't make no money.
Of course not.
Corporations
are evil.
Right. But it was like that thing,
This is the job that you're supposed to have.
It was the job that I was supposed to have. I felt like I made my parents proud or whatever. And so it's a branding agency, but Cincinnati, is where Procter and Gamble is headquartered. So that was our biggest client. So I worked on Gillette and Gillette, Tide, Downy, Press.
Them is hitters.
Hitters. Like right out of college, I was working on really big accounts like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They should have made the money match.
Yeah.
What do you think is the difference between like corporate marketing and the type of marketing that you do now for your own business?
Really, really different. Also, just because I feel like with social media marketing and just being an entrepreneur, everything is changing. Like it almost seems like every 3-6 months, you got to learn something new, an algorithm or this or that. And that really wasn't the case back then. So while I always love the fact that I do have a marketing background, it ain't nothing like having to do this on your own.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's a completely different game.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just so many different trends and that sort of thing that you have to keep up with while remaining super authentic. And corporate marketing is not always about that.
Authenticity
at all. It's
about
sell a
product.
Yes.
So how it's effective.
Yes, for sure. I feel like later on in my career, so that was like the most fun type of marketing that I ever did. But I didn't make no money. It's always like the flashy, fun ones that you don't be making no money. Like I was flying to photo shoots in Miami and all this other stuff. I was making like $28,000 a year.
You get what I'm saying? Like, come on, like now.
Crazy. Still staying at home with my mama and stuff. But then I quickly realized to make money, you have to do the boring marketing, like pharmaceuticals.
That's what got you that check.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I went really hard into pharma.
Oh my God. So what type of marketing do pharmaceutical companies? Was you the person that like at the end of the commercial they're like heartburn, indigestion, systemic diarrhea? That was the stuff you worked on?
No. So even more boring.
Okay.
So what the agencies that I was working for were the people we wrote the manuals for sales reps to go into hospitals and sell doctors.
Also, I feel like sales reps, when it comes to like big pharma, I feel like sales reps got the most fun job.
Yeah. But we're writing the manuals for the sales rep.
So how to market it to get the doctors to pick it up.
Exactly.
Wow, you must be very influential. Because big pharma is very, very profitable.
Yes.
So you got your experience like in the marketing world. You have your experience with your business. For someone who is looking to market their business with the experience that you have, what is like one tip that you give? Like, hey, everybody do this.
That's a good one. I would say lean into who you are and what you know and love the most. Like, let's say, even if I was still selling toothpaste right now, I would still talk about my children, myself, my personality. And I feel like you have to bring in a customer base. That way you want to try to build a community.
Absolutely.
And so the only way to do that is through being super authentic. So what you're actually selling is like the afterthought. You want to like sell yourself first. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something like we just noticed with marketing in trends as a whole. Like,
Mhm.
you got to sell yourself first. You got to build that community first. We're going to talk about you in the fancy homebody community in a little bit. But you mentioned something about trends, and that's going to bring me to my game. This is Ask Jen. Everybody play games. I'm a game playing girl.
Okay. And I'm very competitive.
Wonderful. So you want to win.
Yes.
Okay. So you are the fancy homebody.
Mhm.
So I trust your home decor taste. Okay. I'm going to show you a few home decor trends.
Okay.
This is going to be like this or that.
Okay.
But instead of this or that, it's going to be fancy or funky. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I feel like people are gonna like not like me.
Disclaimer. This is in fun and jest.
Yes.
This is not a reflection of Fancy Homebody or the Ask Jen show. If you take offense to anything we are about to say, you are not entitled to compensation.
Not at all.
You are not.
Like, I don't want to make nobody mad.
The karate chop pillows, fancy or funky?
I'm gonna say funky.
Funky. Why? I don't care for it either.
Mm-mm.
What's the dip for?
I don't know.
I don't care for it.
It's giving like 2011.
It's giving throwback house.
Yes.
Period. Okay. Millennial gray paint.
Funky.
Funky. Big funky.
Big funky.
Big funky.
And people should know that warm tones are really trending.
If you depressed, it's because your whole house is gray.
Yes. Yes. Cool tones are shifting out. Warm the space up, y'all. Jesus Christ.
Heard it from the Fancy Homebody.
Put away the gray.
Next, we got word art, the live, laugh, love.
Funky. Give me something I like. Everything is funky.
Funky. Okay, how you feel about the boneless couches?
Let me see.
Those like those foam couches with like no structure. Fancy or funky?
I'm going to say fancy.
Fancy.
I'm going to say fancy depending on where they are.
Okay.
I feel like that would be like a cute like theater room situation, lounge room. So I'll say fancy.
All right. The last one. Boho chic home decor.
If it matches your personality.
Okay. So if you like a free festival fun loving girl, I can see you a boho chic. But if it's like
you're a video vixen.
You said that's not who you are.
It's like turn it away. Yeah.
You know what? We agree on most of these.
Okay.
I'm not a boneless couch lover. I think it's because I'm bigger. I'm like, I need my couch to have some structure. Thank you, Barry. I'm like, I need my couch to have some bones. I need it to sit.
I like comfy. I like anything comfy.
That's why we got Fancy Homebody. We love comfort. So like Fancy Homebody and the identity of Fancy Homebody.
Yes.
Are you really a homebody?
Really?
Around what age or time in your life did you realize like I really like being at home?
It was after kids.
After kids. Before that, you was the outside homebody.
Mm-hmm. For
going
sure.
to school in Chicago.
Yeah.
Outside. Taking a train.
And I feel like just over time, you get older.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily just the kids that slowed you down, but it's like, ooh, I just enjoy being at home at a certain time and all that late night. I saw something on the internet that said, like, this couldn't be the same 11 o'clock that I used to be getting ready to go out for.
Me and my friends used to aim to go to the club at midnight.
Yeah.
Midnight, I'm like, okay, y'all, let's really end. The club closed in an hour.
Yeah.
What you mean peak time is 2 hours before the club closed? And then I'm looking for somewhere to go afterward. Yeah, no way.
We did all of that. All that. Breakfast spots afterwards. Like, no, we tore the club scene in Chicago down.
Oh,
okay?
I believe you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We're going to talk about your little college days in a little bit.
Oh, Lord, I'm scared.
I know when you are young, people expect you to be a certain way. Did you feel guilt about your transition from like being the outside homebody to the fancy homebody? Like, did you ever be like, I feel like I should still be doing more. I should go out. Like, did you ever feel guilty about it?
I feel like you did some type of research or something on me.
I do research about all my guests.
I'm like, where did this question come from? Well, yes. Okay. I most certainly felt that way around having kids. So I had my first baby at 27 and then my second baby at 28. Like,
oh, dang, you weren't playing around.
Back to back. They 16 months apart.
Dang,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pop, pop.
Yeah, pop. But I felt like I really enjoyed being a mama.
Oh.
Like, and I felt like even though I was in my 20s, I was married. Mm-hmm. I had a corporate job. Yeah. It was kind of like I was going into that real boring life earlier than some of my peers. Mm-hmm. A lot of my friends don't have children, or if they have children, these people aren't my friends no more, but if they had children, they would like leave them with their grandma like all the time, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And that was just never
That's
my
not the type of mom you
vibe.
are. Okay.
So I felt like I would get a little bit of judgment about just how much I enjoyed being around my kids.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. When you think about it.
It's just like, yes, I'm young, yes, I'm 20, but I'm like, these my kids. I had them, they're my responsibility.
They're my responsibility. And so I felt like, and we'll probably touch on this a little bit later, like going into like creating Fancy Homebody, and the reason behind it, it was because it did start to feel a little lonely of not having too many people to connect with in that way, or who I had that type of thing in common with, liking to be in the house and liking your kids. Ain't nothing wrong with your kids.
What's your favorite thing to do at home?
I am a TV girl.
Oh my gosh, I love TV.
Really?
What are you watching right now?
Right now, so Your Friends and Neighbors.
Did you watch the finale?
I sure did.
Did you expect it to end like that?
What's so crazy, Jen? I said from jump, it was her.
Mm-hmm.
I said from jump, but then I was like, you know what? That would be too easy, too predictable. So I liked how they switched it up, but I'm just happy there's another season.
Oh, it's gonna be another season. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, they're filming.
Get out of here. Mm-hmm. I like anything John Hamm is in. Like, I think he's so talented.
He is so good. I love
definitely
that
on
show.
the Your Friends and Neighbors train with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that show.
Love it.
There are some women who feel like their homes are not luxurious enough or comfy enough to be a fancy homebody. What do you want to tell them?
Girl, you should see my kitchen. Knobs off. Okay? I feel like that's a natural feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel insecure about things like that, especially when social media puts like this perfection in your face.
I don't got no big island, open floor plan kitchen with the pot filler on the side. Like, I can't show nothing about
Not
kitchen.
at all.
That's how people be feeling.
Yeah, and I feel like that it's natural to feel that way because social media makes everything seem so perfect. You can be fancy homebody just as far as like what you feel about yourself. It was never about being fancy as far as like luxurious diamonds and that sort of thing.
You said we not Diane Carroll.
Yeah. Even though I love her. I love her down.
TV girl. We got to talk to her.
I love her down. But no, it's more so like a mindset that just because you're a homebody, you don't have to be frumpy. You don't have to look a fool. And comfy doesn't always have to mean homely.
Hey, I feel like that matters. Comfy don't have to mean homely. I feel like people teeter the line.
Yeah. And I feel like when you just put a little, just a little, it can like lift your spirit so much. And as women with all these other things that we got going on and our emotions and stuff, sometimes you need that. Mm-hmm. So if it's not even like a super expensive or drawn out skincare routine or anything like that, if you want to have on a luxurious robe or your favorite slippers or like a nice, throw pillow or something, like little things like that really do make a difference.
Absolutely. I'm a robe lady. Yeah. I love me robe. I like my comfy robe, like when I lay down, and I like my little silky dress robe when I'm like getting ready. It just enhances the experience.
It does. It makes you feel away.
So I feel like you mentioned this. I watched another interview that you did, and you talked about your mom and how like she really like set the standard. Your mom was basically Claire Huxtable, essentially. She was very career driven your entire life. Yes. How did she influence how you navigate your career in business?
My mom to this day helps me with emails.
And you said like she's a corporate level executive. Yes. So she has a lot of business acumen.
Yes, for sure. She's has worked in higher education her whole career.
Wow. Ooh, I know that's right.
Yes. And so she's just like super professional, like professional lady, but she's also a little crazy lady. We love Grana, but she has just managed so many teams, so many people, so many personalities. And I think that that's one thing about being a business owner that I think it might be the most challenging is managing people.
Absolutely.
And being somebody's manager out of nowhere is like, whoa, like I'm still a kid.
I girl bossed a little too hard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I still feel like a child. So I do still call my mama about like, how did you feel this, your staff type of situation? So she gives me so much insight to how she's run so many successful departments that way. So love her down for that.
And how did she influence you as a mother?
Oh, wow. I actually did like a super mini interview on Mother's Day.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. So I was trying to just ask her some questions about how she felt. She was like, what is this? I'm like, I just want to know. The one thing about my mom is that she did everything for us.
Wow.
Like, as career driven as she would still make our meals like every, maybe like 2-3 times a week.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. She still like never, she just wasn't really a girl's girl. I never really remember her having like a girl's night or something. It was just always family. And so I asked her, did you ever resent us for that? Mm-hmm. And she was like, only when you guys are jerks to me, but I can see a clear difference in just the modern mother that sometimes she calls me out about, or me or my sister, or like, she's like, you not taking the kids with you to the grocery store? I'm like, I will lose my mind with them, with me in the grocery store.
It's a whole thing.
You know what I mean?
And I just have one. Taking my daughter to the grocery store is it's a mental preparation that has to go.
So we have those types of disagreements a lot where I'm like, Ma, like that does not mean I don't love them. They can sit at home with their daddy. I want to go to the grocery store by myself. You know what? I think that was good experience for you guys to be in the grocery store with me when I'm like, girl. So I feel like, those sorts of nuances about, no, it's okay to have some alone time. And so just talking to a 72-year-old woman about that is just so funny. Because she's like, oh, you think you so grown? I'm like, I think I kind of am.
You do love on your sons, and you take so much pride in being a mother. I feel like even before like your brand, it's like you kind of prefaced it a little bit with how involved you were with your children. I heard you mention that the birth of your second son was a traumatic birth. As we know, Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to have traumatic births than white women. You woke up from your birth with a full hysterectomy.
Yes. Well, partial. Yes. It was a really, really crazy experience. It was supposed to be a planned C-section, a scheduled C-section, because I had them so close back to back like that. My first son was a C-section, so they wanted to do another C-section. But I went into labor naturally. Okay. So they were saying that a lot of that pressure and stuff on the incision from the last C-section, it kind of like threw a lot of monkey wrenches into things. So on top of just having to deliver really quickly and abruptly, he was quote unquote not performing like a 39-week-old. They were saying he was performing something like a 36-week-old. So he had to go to the NICU. So I was just thinking like, my baby, I'm not thinking about myself anymore. But as they're like sewing me up or trying to sew me up, the nurse came in my ear and she said, I need you to pray right now. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you're losing a lot of blood, like a lot of blood. And I'm like, okay, now I'm freaking out. And so basically I had to be rushed into 2 separate emergency surgeries that day, like right after the C-section. They thought that they had gotten the bleeding under control. They had to put a stent in my uterus. But then after they sewed me up, I'm in the ICU. Later on that night, the stent ruptured.
Oh my goodness.
While I was sewn up. So had to do another emergency surgery, and they put me down. And when I woke up, they told me that they had to give me a hysterectomy.
If you don't mind me asking, did you plan on having more kids like after that?
Yes, for sure. And we still want to. That's why I said a partial. So I still have my ovaries. I got all my little lady parts.
Okay.
So
it's just gonna be harder.
It's just gonna be harder. And, just thinking about all what that entails of surrogacy and all that sort of thing. So it's just like, whew, never thought that I was going to have to go down that road.
And it's so interesting because I talk about this a lot, like, especially Black women. You think, oh, I'm married, I've had a child before, 2-family house. You be thinking like class and like status kind of like can protect you and shield you from some of this stuff. And it's just like, when you a Black woman, like, it really doesn't matter. If you don't mind me asking, how long was your son in the NICU?
10 days.
So I asked this because when I was pregnant, my pregnancy was completely normal. I delivered my daughter she came 1 week early. You have to do the Group B strep test. I tested negative for Group B strep before I had my daughter. And while I was in the delivery room, they said I tested positive. After I had my daughter, they immediately took her away from me. Did not get to hold her at all. Her breathing was irregular. I got really sick after I delivered my daughter. Fever, chills, like, it was crazy. I did not see my daughter. I think like maybe 22 or 23 hours like after I had her. I could not hold her immediately. Was in the NICU for a week. And I was just like, what happened? Like, y'all told me I didn't have this. Y'all told me it was not going to be a problem. When I had my daughter, it was a problem. So I'm like, it is so crazy that we are, as two women, are sitting on the couch and still have these same issues. Again, best hospital you can think of, best care. I went to all my appointments on time. Everything was going right. My daughter was not too early. And it's just like how these things are just so unavoidable and just
how
so common
things
for
can
us.
just
And it's
just like that.
And it's nothing you can do to prepare for it. Like,
Nothing.
I feel like that's the worst part. Like, I carried so much guilt about like, dang, what should I have done? Or was there anything I could have done to prevent this? And I think about it like a lot.
Same, for sure. I think about like if things could have been different or if I could have done something or I remember even questioning myself getting pregnant so soon, if I should have waited a little bit longer and that sort of thing. But I'm just so lucky and blessed that boy, he's totally healthy and driving me nuts.
I'm sure.
Just turned 9 years old. And like our little miracle baby.
That's so sweet. I feel like you touched on this a little more, but let's talk about did complications from your pregnancy like impact your return to work or ability to work at all?
What's so crazy is I went back to work in 8 weeks. Yeah. After being so I wasn't even in labor and delivery.
You was in the ICU?
I was in the ICU.
Oh my God.
I had to have 8 blood transfusions.
And still did 6 week maternity. What?
And what's so crazy about this is I started working from home. Like, I was working from home before it was cool.
Okay, cool.
Home,
okay. A trendsetter, per usual.
A trendsetter. And also another trick, for the girls. When you work from home, work remotely, you can apply for jobs in higher paying markets.
Oh, yeah.
So my job was based in New York.
Wow. So you got that New York salary.
I got the New York salary. So I was like, we got to go back to work. But the thing was, I hid that baby at home.
Get out of here.
I sure did. He ain't go no daycare.
How did you hide it?
Mute. Y'all making me go to work after almost losing my life.
Okay, and also, I'm not giving this baby to nobody to go back to work. I'm holding on to my miracle baby.
Not at all. So yeah, we hid DJ right over there. I was so happy he was a good baby. So he was not always crying and that sort of thing. When he got to be a toddler, that's a different story. But when he was a baby, he was just, I feel like he knew. I feel like he just knew.
Gotta work.
She got to go to work.
I love that.
Yes.
I talk extensively about how becoming a mother almost pushed me out the workforce. Like, when I had my daughter, again, my NICU experience gave me really bad postpartum anxiety. I always wanted to be with my daughter. I went back to work 6 weeks maternity leave. Luckily, I worked for an organization that had not opened yet. Okay. So like a lot of the work was like busy work, but I used to close my office door to pump. Like, I used to check on my daughter while she was at daycare because she was in the NICU. Like, for the first few months, she had breathing problems. So like I would check on her, all types of things like that. And the people I was working for like did not like it. I'll never forget. I had called my baby daddy and I was like, yeah, I would complain about work every single day. I was tired of commuting to like after work, going to pick her from daycare, sitting in traffic, coming back home. I hated it. I would complain about work every single day. And one day I just called my baby daddy. I was like, I don't think I can do this no more. And I remember for weeks I kept complaining about how I needed my nails done because I didn't have time because I was going back and forth and being with her and going back to work and sitting in traffic and stuff like that. As soon as I told him I was about to quit, he was like, "You gonna go get your nails done?" I was like, "Yeah." So I ended up leaving my job, and I had a business at the time that was able to sustain me. So like that was really, really helpful. But like, how did you transition from corporate America to entrepreneurship?
Being fed up. Honestly. What's so crazy that you said that? So after I had my first baby, the plan was, and again, it's my mama being in my ear, that baby don't need to be in daycare. Like, you guys can just live off of Mitch's salary and you need to be at home. And I'm like, girl. But then I was like, okay, that sounds good. So basically I had my job, had maternity, and I went back to work for 1 week and then I quit. So I was like, okay, we're going to try this stay at home mom thing. And then 6 months later, I get pregnant. And he like, no, you got to go back to work now. Okay. now we got 2 kids. All right. So I was like pregnant, literally looking for another job. And then that's how I got the remote job, because I was big and pregnant and I didn't want to be seen, That
was so brilliant.
Yeah.
You have foresight, honey.
Yeah. I was like, well, let's do remote so they don't have to know that I'm pregnant. So it worked out. But so I have to say that to say I totally get you with just being done with that whole rat race, because I was still like commuting downtown Chicago, crazy rat race of situation that I was in. But before Fancy Homebody, still working remotely, a really boring another farmer job or whatever. And I just felt like I was losing my for my sauce. You are a
creative.
Yeah. And I'm like, it just don't seem right. I feel like men sometimes have ways to like hobbies and that sort of thing. Like Mitch used to play basketball in college and stuff. So he always was like in men's leagues and stuff. And he would have that outlet, And I'm like, I need some type of outlet. I don't know if it's a creative outlet or whatever.
Also, I think for men, them going to work and coming home and doing nothing is normal. For us, it's not. Like, we don't like that.
Yeah, I've just felt like I was missing something. Social media was clearly a thing, Instagram and that sort of thing. And I was like, let me give this content creation thing a whirl. And it literally came to me when I was like, I might be a homebody, but I'm like a fancy homebody.
That's so cute.
I know. And so like when I said it, I was like, I kind of like that. I had an Instagram page for some time, Vanessa Van Glam. But then I was like, I feel like I need to start another page with this name. And so we had just bought our first home. And I was obsessed. So I started posting more things like about my house and that sort of thing. And just introvert, homebody types of stuff. Okay. And the girlies were following.
They ate it up.
Yeah. So that was 2019. Never thought about selling anything for real until I was like, I hit 2,000 followers. And I was like, oh, maybe we should put Fancy Homebody on a sweatshirt or a mug or something. And we did that. And I was still working. But then I'm like, let's launch this website, and it went up and it ain't been down ever since. But I was still trying to like hide the corporate stuff on the side until it couldn't get, I was just way too busy with trying to build this, and I just liked it. Like I finally liked doing something again. So
you got your mojo back.
Yeah.
For people who are balancing a job and their business, what are some rules to absolutely live by?
A job and your business. Yep. I feel like setting strict boundaries as far as time is concerned.
Especially as a mom.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's nothing wrong with having a scheduled times. And yes, you might have to bust your ass really late at night. Like, it's not gonna be easy.
I feel like people be trying to run from the grind. They want it to be easy, and it's just not.
It's not. Like, if it was easy, everybody would do this. Everybody would win. Everybody would have billion-dollar businesses, but it don't work like that. Like, no, you're gonna have to be up real late. You're gonna look crazy, and if you want it, it's gonna be hard.
How bad do you want
What are you
willing to do? Shout out to my girl Rihanna.
Yes.
Can we talk about Mitch a little bit? Your man.
Yeah.
I always talk about how a quality partner will literally just change your life.
Yes.
He supported you while you were going through all of this, your traumatic birth, your recovery period, you shifting to entrepreneurship, all of this. And you have been down since before all of that.
Mm-hmm.
What role do he play in all of the fanciness of Fancy Homebody?
Yeah, I know it's cliche, but like, he really is my best friend. Like, he really is. So that's my guy. So with Fancy Homebody, Mitch was always, the breadwinner in our whole marriage, that whole thing. He is so good with money as far as saving.
That's amazing.
Not me.
I seen that bag when you came in.
Not me. So he is really, really money smart. So he's still working. He was in pharmaceutical space as well.
Wow.
And after the first year, and this is just a cash-based business. Like, I don't got no investors. I ain't got no angel investors, no money coming from nowhere.
We're going to talk about the money in a little bit.
Yeah, no loans and all that type of stuff. And I remember once I did officially quit my job, I cleared out my 401k. To literally buy inventory, literally buy inventory. And I remember I pitched the idea of Mitch investing into Fancy Homebody.
You made a pitch for your husband to invest in your business?
Yes.
You said you're not just my husband, you are an investor.
Yes, because it was like, no, like, this could really
be something.
This could really be something. And he gave me $100,000. Mm-hmm.
If your man not give you no 100 bands for your dreams, honey.
Yeah, I always say he's my first and only investor.
Oh my, and it's your husband.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. If my husband wants to give me $100,000, I would want it in cash.
No, but it was very sweet business deal for him as well. Okay. So yeah, and so
has he made it back?
Oh.
Happy.
Mitch is a very happy man.
Okay, can we talk about your vow renewal just a little bit?
Yes.
What made y'all both say that we are doing it again, but bigger? Especially because I feel like both of y'all are very like low key people. Y'all are not flashy, and if I'm not mistaken, like it ended up in like publications and stuff like that. So like, what was this like? And did y'all plan for it to low key like be a marketing like?
No. But I know I wanted my dream wedding because I deserved my dream wedding. What
was your first wedding like?
It wasn't none. We didn't have a wedding.
Oh, honey, y'all was down from the beginning.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we went to the courthouse.
What?
Yes.
So you said we doing this up.
So we always would say, at 10 years, we're going to have the big one. At 10 years, never thought it was going to be that. Wow. But we always said, at 10 years, let's do a big wedding. And like, everybody would always be on our case. Like, I can't believe y'all would just go off because we were by ourselves. Nobody was with us.
What?
No, it was just us two.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, the parents were not that
I can
happy.
imagine, especially what you just said, how your mama is very structured, very traditional, just going off to the courthouse. I know she was not happy.
Yeah, they were not that happy at first, but we were like, no, we gonna do it in 10 years. 10 years, y'all. Give us 10 years, and yeah.
I love that.
So that's what we did.
I know you heard the dating pool got pee in it. To my ambitious women looking for a partner, what are some green flags and qualities that they should look for? We are looking for $100,000 investors, first and foremost. But what else? He needs to give me 100 bands.
Well, he needs to be hardworking and good with money.
There we go. Because that leads to the $100,000.
I know. That does not matter. I swear it does not matter. Okay, I was with Mitch when we was broke college.
Literally that. I was like literally down from the beginning. I did not know y'all had a courthouse.
Yes. We met senior year of college, like broke college kids. Okay.
Oh my God.
So like literally grew up together. But Green flags. Okay. I would say men who are intentional with their time. And I always say to my single friends, I always say, they ain't that hard to understand. Like, I know that they're...
Oh, it's on us. Okay, cool.
No, well, it's like, I feel like women say that sometimes to kind of make excuses, like, oh no, they playing all these games, what they doing? Like,
why you going along with the game?
If he wants you, it ain't gonna be no confusion. No confusion. It's gonna be clear. It's gonna be in your face. He gonna be at that door. He gonna be blowing you up. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like...
Do you believe in like the man should like the woman more than the man? Okay.
I do.
Mitch was on that case.
Mitch told me he loved me the first week.
That's what I like. Mm-hmm. That's what I like.
I want him on me, okay?
On his body.
I want him obsessed. You gotta be obsessed with me, baby.
At least he was telling the
truth. He's a really, really silly, funny guy or whatever. And so he, would say it, but I was like, I literally had to call his homeboys and I was like, he's scaring me. Like, can you tell your boy to stop telling me he loved me so soon? Like,
but he did.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't think it's funny. But
he was serious.
He was serious.
I love that. And now y'all are a family with 2 beautiful children later. How do you describe to your children what you do?
Oh, they know. Oh, they know.
My mama sell clothes and make a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. And will tell their friends at school that. Okay.
That's what it be about. It be the friends.
Yeah, Mom, we're rich, right? I'm like, hey, can you not?
Yes, actually.
Can you not do that?
I'll be like,
But so I felt like when we started Fancy Homebody, everything was in the home. Mm-hmm. We had just bought the house. And that was the other thing. Sorry, just to piggyback to one of your questions about how girls sometimes feel like their environment might not be the fanciest or flashiest. Mm-hmm. We're just now getting our house like how I want it to be.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I was so busy creating this brand that I was not worried about like the perfect furniture sets and all that sort of thing. That was never high on the priority list whatsoever. So I felt like they have seen boxes all over the home, like all over the home. They've seen orders being fulfilled in the dining room. They saw and witnessed all of that. And so when we would say like, hey, like mommy got a studio or now we got a warehouse and that sort of thing, bringing them along has just been so fun. And it's so great for them to witness it like that. And I do preach business ownership to them. Now that I know the blessing that it is, clearly I want my kids to go to college and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, yeah, I remember, my son will say things like, yeah, and I'll work for a pizza place. I was like, or you can own the pizza place. Hey. Like I want to always change that so they can get it in their brain. Like, no,
you can own stuff.
You can own stuff. Yeah.
I love that. So as a business owner, I know you are busy a lot. How do you make sure that you give your children the love and attention they deserve? Because running a business is 24/7.
It is. I feel like I try to set boundaries, but I can't beat myself up about it if it doesn't go perfectly as planned. I think that if mommy is in grind mode, then I'll do something kind of elaborate to make up for it. But I have to tell myself like, it's not always going to be a perfect balance or anything like that as far as time is concerned. They know that I love them down. They know that I'll do anything for them. But they also know and should know that mommy and daddy are working this hard because we have just started. Like this is just starting. And what we're envisioning for our future, you guys will get it. You
just got to let me grind it out a little bit. You got
to let me grind it out. And I think that I had to start to get comfortable with that because I did have mom guilt from time to time because it's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes I feel like I can zone out into the Fancy Homebody world. So I do feel bad from time to time, but I always make sure that you know, the recitals and, you know, the games and that sort of thing. I ain't missing none of that. But mommy might have to be on the computer when y'all first come home from school, and we can't kick it right now. But I got you.
I got you before you go to bed. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
and like you just mentioned, like with the mom guilt, a lot of the work I do like taking me outside of my home. So like when I'm in moments where I'm like, oh no, I'm at my house. I'm not taking no bookings. I'm not taking no calls. Like I'm at home. I hope my daughter understands that and appreciates that. I'll never forget. I want to say like last week, I didn't have no bookings last week, and so I was at home, and it was like after she go to bed, like I usually like go out to like work sometimes. She was going to bed, and I kissed her goodnight. She said, "You stay at home." I was like, "Yeah, I'm staying home." So like as much as I think like it don't matter, or like oh I'm gone so much she don't even care. I'm like they really do care, like sure. and they get what you doing, and I'm like hopefully at some point I can sit back and never have to work again, you know, or take months off so I can do everything in the world with you. But right now, my butt got to be on the street.
Yeah, for sure. They'll get it. They'll get it.
So let's get into the business. You said the idea came to you because you was like on the couch, like I'm a fancy homebody.
Yes.
We got Ethica, Alo, Skims, Yeti, Fenty. What made you say like, oh, the streets need fancy homebody? Like, what do you think separates your brand from the ones that already exist?
So I felt like at that time, fast fashion is still, you know, king, right? It reigns supreme. But I felt like for the early 30-year-old millennial woman, so to speak, I felt like there were a lot of easy outfits that would be presented, but they would always be kind of that
hoochie.
I call it like the BBL fashion. Okay. Where it's all about the small waist and big booty and that sort of thing.
Like see-through.
And even if it's not,
cut out. Yeah.
Even if it's not like super hoochie, it would still be like things would not be flattering for a lady who might, you know, feel a little insecure about the tummy or something like that. And, you know, I had just had these 2 babies. I had that little mom pouch, you know what I'm saying? That I still plan on getting fixed.
Okay.
But
we're not anti-surgery around here.
Not at all. But that sort of thing I felt like was missing for women who were my age, still felt, you know, hip and cool, but didn't necessarily always want to fit into like that Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing box. Yeah. So I felt like there still needed to be like classy, classic options that you could have for a long time. And also, speaking of the millennial woman, knowing your customer and saying, you know what, this might not be for everybody. You know what I mean? That if you're the girl who wants to get your lounge sets from, you know, Shein or Amazon or anything like that, I don't knock that at all. I would do that too if I wanted to. But think about the women who really do want to invest in staple pieces like that, that they really do wear every day. Yeah. Like I was the girl who was getting 2-piece sets from Boohoo. Yeah. Like I would do that, but it would rip,
wear out. Oh, I hate Boohoo.
Like that used to Boohoo used to be my girl.
It did. Damn.
The quality was trash,
honey.
So I felt like, I'm like, you know what? It gotta be other people who love to go to, like when you go to a site, you hit sets. Yeah, that was always me. I always like go to sets first, and everything would be like, ooh, you can't have no type of pouch in that. You can't have, you know. So I was thinking about myself as the customer. You know what I mean? Like looking at what did I want to wear. I'm okay with paying, you know, not Aloe Skims prices or whatever, but I can be somewhere in the middle. I care about quality, and it got to be other women like me.
Yeah. And there is. Fancy Homebody has been very profitable. You started Fancy Homebody in 2020. What do you think are some of the biggest differences between operating a business in the pandemic versus now? Is it easier, harder, or just different?
Just different, I would say. The pandemic was the pandemic. Okay.
The money was getting got.
The money was getting got. I feel like everybody and their mama had a loungewear line too that year.
Fair.
They really
I
did.
recall.
I feel like that's another thing that sets us apart from other people is that we launched in February. So it was before the shutdown, right? And like
Dang, right on time.
Right on time. And it was also just authentic to what we had been building up with the community. A lot of people just tried to pivot real quick and start talking about loungewear and stuff like that. And I'm like, girl,
Y'all can't even spell loungewear.
You can't even spell couch.
I'm the fancy homebody.
Yeah. So I just always felt like, I'm like really true to this. Like, I'm really, really true to this. Like, I live by my rhymes, okay?
Okay, period. Ain't no capping her rats.
Okay. So that was another thing that I felt like was different between us. So pandemic. I feel like in the pandemic, yes, money was everywhere. Businesses were booming and everywhere. So you have to stay the course. Like you have to really make sure that you're still keeping your community front and center of all your decisions, and not just chasing a bag like that. But yeah, it's just different. Like the money was really, really fast out the gate. And so now with different options and things like that, you just got to be smarter about your marketing and how you attract people. Yeah.
I think that's helpful. A nice little pivot. Do you remember the moment where you were like, okay, this little side business might be doing something?
Yeah, I do. I felt like, so when we first started, I was using a drop shipping company.
Okay.
They would print. It was, oh Lord, sometimes I get so embarrassed about how them sweatshirts used to be looking like. So they would print on demand and they were shipping stuff to people. And
you had no hands-on quality.
I had no hands-on quality control. You know what I mean? So that was always frustrating to me. Plus, they took 45%.
That's enough
of every sale. But I didn't know. Yeah. I felt like this was...
It's easy. I got my complete hands off and I make money.
It was easy. I'm still working. And I'm like, oh, they're handling everything, shipping, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then when I thought about it, like, okay, if I took them out the equation,
I'd be making bank.
I would really be making some money. The other thing I realized was that in my my first ever promo photo shoot, I had on some loungewear from House of CB, some real expensive shit. And people would talk about, but where's that stuff from?
You like, this ain't even me.
Right. Because all I'm selling was t-shirts and sweatshirts at the time. And I was like, maybe I should do like loungewear outfits, that sort of thing. So then I started thinking about the wholesale way, going, kind of boutique-y type of thing or whatever, where I'm buying wholesale stuff out of California. And when I started actually having inventory at my house and I was in charge of shipping things out, I made a lot more money that way. And that's when I was like, okay, like this is different. This is different. So we started in February. First loungewear collection was in May.
Okay.
And in June, I took a leave of absence from my job.
You said, oh, I need a break. I got real work to do.
Yeah. So I didn't get paid that whole summer from my job. And in September, I quit.
You know, it's funny. I took a FMLA from my job for a summer. And that's the summer I interviewed the governor. Yeah.
I know, that's right.
Use them benefits. If you think your business is about to go somewhere, take that time off work.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
use it.
I can still have my job if this didn't work out. But I was like, I'm gonna give myself this summer, and we made something shake.
I love that. You have been featured in Essence Vogue, but the biggest validation you get is from the homebodies themselves. What do you want the homebodies to know about how they changed your life?
Oh, I don't want to get all emotional, but I feel like they really are, the reason that I do everything. Is because of the DMs that I get from moms that say, you just really get me, and I feel like seen. I wasn't really able to feel put together before. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Fancy Homebody just makes me feel so much better. That's honestly just what makes my day.
Oh my God.
Like when I hear that sort of thing, I'm like, okay, I'm on to something here or whatever. It's not always about, you know, the looks and the fashion part of it, which is important, but I really wanted to make sure that it was some depth, some soul to the brand, that they know that I'm doing this for them. And honestly can go hand in hand with mental health and, you know, women just feeling better about themselves, because I've been through it or whatever. And before Fancy Homebody and before the Boohoo days, like I would be in the house with these two babies, 2 under 2, with Mitch's big white tees on and his basketball shorts. And I know how taxing that can be for a woman.
You ever been having a bad day and looked in the mirror and realized you looked a mess and just fell apart?
All the time. And so I felt like, you know what, I can pull myself together. Get it together.
Be a little 2-piece set.
It can be a little 2-piece, a little 1-2.
If you feel comfortable sharing, how much has Fancy Homebody grossed?
Like overall total, 18 million.
Wow. Boom, boom, boom. Off the loungewear sets. What is something you will never compromise in your business? Quality. I see, like, you immediately saw with that drop shipping, like, it was a mess and you put your hands on it.
For sure. Yeah, I think quality. Somebody asked me in my little question box the other day about what's the most important thing that you would say for running your business. Is it marketing? And I'm like, you know what? It really ain't, because you can market a shitty product.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to have a good product at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And you have to put some effort behind that before you just get on social media trying to sell something or whatever. Like really have some, you know, gumption about yourself to put quality into what you put out in the world.
Gonna sell yourself. If you notice off the top of your head, what percentage of your customers are repeat customers?
Oh, I don't think I know.
Okay.
It's very high.
I could tell.
It's
everybody
really,
I know
really high.
Like buy Fancy Homebody has a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, it's extremely high.
From a personal perspective, what else are you and your husband doing to grow your generational wealth portfolio? How are you investing the money you made from Fancy Homebody?
We love real estate. Okay. Yeah, so we flipped our first home.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, last year. Literally closed 3 weeks before the wedding.
Get out of here. Renewal. Oh, honey, y'all was throwing bands up. I know that's right.
We gotta pay for these flowers, okay? So, yes, I felt like I was able to live out my HGTV dreams.
I love that. All that TV you was watching.
Yes. So I was so excited. We are really into real estate. He also has a trucking business.
Nice.
So yeah, we dibble and dabble.
That's nice. Here's some for your business. Here's some. This is nice. Yeah. Get that ambitious partner with good habits. My girl was onto something.
Yes.
Black female entrepreneurs are some of the fastest growing millionaires in the entire United States. What are some tips you can give to women looking to not only make money, but keep it, hold on to it?
Right.
Because you said you like to spend, but I think you know a thing or two. You got 18 meals.
Yeah. I feel like saving and not making emotional decisions.
Are you trying to address me?
No, because I've made mistakes, and this is only in 5 years now.
What do you think the biggest mistake you made so far?
Money-wise,
or with your business as a whole?
I feel like I can get too invested in a creative idea where it's like, oh no, y'all gonna love this because I love it. And then it'd be like,
it flopped, dang.
It flopped. You know, and I would just be so gung-ho about an idea that I'm not like pivoting and like looking forward.
Long term, yeah.
Like, looking long term. Another thing that I feel like I can kind of speak on is trying to scale too quickly.
Let's talk about that.
So it's like the whole thing about the Black female millionaire entrepreneur and stuff like that, which is lovely, great. Love it. Love to see it. But I also feel like it puts this precedent out there that you got to be making $1 million. You got to be doing this. You got to be hitting all these numbers.
You got to be BL. You got to be topicals. You need angel investors. I feel like, people get
and
caught
no,
in that trap.
you do not. When I say my husband has been my only investor, he's my only investor, y'all. Like, yes, you can take like little loans and stuff like that, PayPal loans, Shopify loans and stuff like that. Hold on to your business, child.
Stop Don't be giving away pieces, equity, all that. Yeah, I think that's important. Ownership is
feel like
most important.
A lot of people always think that has to be a part of the equation, and it does not. Try to build this up yourself for as long as you can. Now, I understand that there are certain instances where,
absolutely, a sale is lucrative.
Yeah, for sure. And trust me, honey, that's where I want to get to. That's where I want to get to. But as we're growing, it's really good to put that sweat equity into your business yourself. And I feel like sometimes trying to scale too quickly will really, kind of hurt you sometimes. I would hear things like, oh, you always sold out and that sort of thing. And it would put pressure on me to say, you know what, I'm about to quadruple this inventory or something, because in my brain, I'm saying, you know what, let's have a lot more inventory on the site, and we're not going to do these exclusive drops anymore. And we're going to do Facebook ads and do what the big brands do. And it's like, that doesn't work for my customer. Like my customer likes new shit a lot. And it's like, I can't try to scale just because I see somebody else scaling a certain way. What's going to work for me is how it's going to work for me. And I'm okay with not always trying to like look at a number as the main goal. It's really just about making sure that you're having steady growth, but sometimes that slow growth is better than just trying to like shoot out the park with it.
And it's working for you. I feel like it's like there is a such thing as too much information. I feel like, data-driven decisions are really, really important, but you are still selling a product. There's a human aspect behind that. Consider that first and foremost.
Yes.
Outside of, like you said, trying to scale and grow and chase these numbers. That is so helpful. You are so knowledgeable. And I think that is perfect for our next game.
Okay.
Perfect. This game is called Personality Playlist. This is my favorite game.
Okay.
You play a lot of roles in your life. We are going to build a playlist based on all of the different Vanessas you are. You ready?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Vanessa Bouie, CEO of Fancy Homebody. What are a song that make you feel bossy, like as fuck? Like you play this and you like, yeah, I'm finna get it. I'm about to make me some money today.
Island Brothers.
The rule is back.
Period.
Yeah. I will literally play Blueprint like on repeat.
I love that.
On repeat. Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
Vanessa at Columbia. What is a song that reminds you of your college days?
Ooh-wee. What's that? Geeked Up. I am motherfucker right now. Like literally.
First of all, that is a Detroit staple. We love Geeked Up here in the city of Detroit. Vanessa, leader of the mommy gang. What's a song you play that your kids know? If I'm hearing this, it's time to clean up.
Anita Baker, Sweet Love.
Oh, okay. I think that's the opener on the cleanup playlist. That too is on my cleanup playlist.
Yes.
Chef Vanessa, what you playing when you in that kitchen?
Chef Vanessa.
Because you be cooking.
I do. I'll say, I keep like an old auntie type of Pandora going. So
my favorite Pandora, Brownstone Radio. I feel like if I put Brownstone Radio on Pandora, hit after hit after hit of Auntie Jams. Yes.
Okay. I do Anita Baker Radio. And I love that.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to say Sade.
Okay.
I'm going to say like Sweetest Taboo.
Ooh, that's a nice one. You be sexy in that kitchen.
Saucy. It's giving spices.
That brings me to my next one. Mitch's wife. What song do you play when you want your husband to know we about to be real grown?
Ooh. Oh, Lord. We about to be real grown.
Real grown. Staycation vibes, no kids, feeling very sexy, just made $200,000 off a drop. Like, yeah.
Something Giveon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Something like that.
Are you on the way?
Yeah.
Are you coming home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like that.
Real cute.
Mhm.
That's a nice little playlist. I might just add that to my own. The things that I noticed, two things you love. You love you some Jeezy, you love you some Jay-Z, and you love you some Anita Baker.
I do.
Like your best friend Mia Ray.
Yes.
Yeah, we about to talk about you and Mia for sure. First of all, y'all are the most stay to yourself ass girls that I have ever seen. Y'all started y'all friendship online. I know a lot of people are very weary about making friends online, but it turned out good for y'all.
Yes.
So, like, what was y'all first interaction like? How did y'all meet?
So, a girl, Bree, who's from here, she was working with Mia, and she went to Columbia with me, and she worked on Mia's blog.
Okay.
And she hit me up about being the glamaholic of the week.
That's how I know you. Yep.
Really?
Really? That's how I know who you are. Yep.
So she hit me up about being featured on this blog and that she's working with this girl, Mia. And yeah, so it was really through Bree and the blog that I even discovered Mia and that sort of thing. And
but that was like 15 years ago at this point. So
yeah.
How did y'all maintain your relationship? Like,
I feel like, so we were always, I always said Instagram cousins from there.
I love that.
Yeah. Like, even from afar, and this is way before Fancy Homebody and all this other stuff. You know how, like, you'll just be watching somebody like, I feel like I know her. You know what I mean? And a lot of people feel that way about Mia, of course. Like, she's everybody's cousin in their head now. But I felt like she would do things and say things. I was like, that's just like me. It was really weird about the sort of things that she would do. I always feel like she was one of the first original influencers.
Absolutely. Without a question.
Like, literally. She's the reason why I know who Ray Dunn is.
As soon as you said first influencer, I knew Ray Dunn was finna come out your mouth.
Ray Dunn
owes Mia a commission check for sure.
Literally. I'm like, oh, Mia's buying Ray Dunn. I'm gonna go to Home Goods. I'm started collecting Ray Dunn after that. Like, it was just so weird how, like, things that she would be doing, it was just always, we were just always in sync. And it never gave like fangirl, but we did comment on each other a lot. And I remember this one time I wrote under one of her pictures, like, I just feel like you're my cousin. And she said, I feel that same way about you or whatever. So
how did y'all first meet in person?
We did not meet in person until 2021.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. We did not meet in person until 2021. We've been online dating this entire time. No, but like, even so we were just Instagram besties for a very long time. I told her about the concept of Fancy Homebody before I told my mama. Yeah, like, this is just off my personal page type thing. Like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm thinking about doing this. And I remember she was like, hell yeah, do it. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And she's been, of course, the most supportive ever since.
Y'all are both very busy, run very successful businesses, live in different cities. How do y'all like maintain y'all friendship?
Just like everybody else. I feel like, you know, me and Mia are not talking about business every time we get on the phone. You know what I mean? It's just like everyone else, texting and sending memes and
TikTok.
Yeah. That's how it is.
How does it feel to have a friend in a similar industry as you?
It's such a blessing. I mean, of course, she's the blueprint. She is. And there's nothing wrong with seeing somebody and not veering far from what it is they're doing.
Oh, I love that you said that, because like, I feel like some women have difficulty having friends in similar industries as them. They feel like it's competition. So like, do you have any tips on how to navigate that? Because I feel like some people feel like they can't do it.
I feel like that's a character flaw.
Hey, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like that is a character flaw. Like, I've never been so happy for someone like I am for her. Like, this is just insane. Like, she's like a billionaire.
Do y'all give each other feedback?
Yeah,
Oh,
do.
nice.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do from time to time. And she just keeps me motivated like no other. I remember 2020, one of my first drops that summer before I quit. I told her, like, Mia, I had made like $25,000 in like an hour or something crazy. And it was 200 orders. She was like, that's great, but you could do like 600 orders.
Flat out.
She would clap for you, but not too long. And always be like,
run it up.
What's next? What's next? What's next? And I'm like, okay, like this lady is not playing. So I remember a crazy Black Friday that we did. It was
when your website crashed. I remember that.
Yeah. So I did $600,000 that day. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. And Mia told me, okay, so now we know what to do to get the $1 million.
Okay, we're about to fix that bandwidth and do the.
I was like, whoa,
having a breakdown.
Right. This was a big day for me.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. When I had put up the question box and I said, is there any questions you all want to ask the Fanciest Homebody? She said, how does it feel to be that girl, that mom, and that wife?
Aww.
She, like you said, like cheerleader will clap for you. That girl love you down.
Aww.
Your love for Mia has translated to your business. You said Detroit is your second biggest market for Fancy Homebody, and you got nominated for a Detroit Choice Award. You're not from here. Not from here, not near here, don't live here, nothing. Detroit Choice Award.
When I saw that, it took me out, child. A lot of people think that I'm from Detroit, but like I said, she's the original influencer or whatever. I feel like you asked her a question recently about
on her live that we did at her warehouse.
Yeah, it was that one. She said something about making like $700,000 in an app, something crazy. She had on one of them dusty Fancy Homebody drop shipping sweatshirts that day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so all these eyes are on her, and so we had launched in February. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like that when that happened to her, that was in March. And she had on this dusty sweatshirt or whatever. But after that, it was a wrap.
Wow.
It was a wrap.
The OG.
The OG. Yeah.
How you feel about a store or warehouse here?
No.
No? All right, I'll just ask you.
Unless I move here.
Unless you move here. How does it feel to grow such a large customer base in a city where you're not from?
I love it. I just love it. I just feel like it's my second little home away from home now. Clearly I'm here a lot visiting Mia. And so they'll take us around, and I've been to Teresa's.
Oh, you locked in, baby. You've been to
I've been to Teresa's.
It was a Facebook post that's going down like, when you walk in Teresa's, the regulars look at you like you just walked in their house. They be like, what you doing here?
I was there.
Okay, period. Yeah, you stamped.
Yeah, I'm stamped. So I love Detroit.
If someone is looking to like grow a customer base outside of where they're from, because I feel like just a lot of business in general, like most of their business for the most part, come from places where they are from. Who is the typical Fancy Homebody?
Okay, I feel like the typical Fancy Homebody, I don't want to say is a Midwestern girl, but
data shows
that she's either a Midwestern girl or an East Coast girl. And she is in her 30s to early 40s. I feel like she is someone who takes pride in their home. So they might be a homeowner, rents, that sort of thing. Likes to stay up with trends, however, is a lot more classic, like leans towards classic staples than trendy designs. I won't necessarily say a mother. I feel like a lot of people, with mommy gang and that sort of thing that we would sell from time to time would think that, oh, this is just a mommy brand or whatever. And that was something that I did not want to do. Like, I didn't want that to be our stamp or whatever. Like, I love being a mom, but I am so much more than a mom, So I feel like a Fancy Homebody is also that way. Like, she might be a mom, but she's so much more than a mom.
I love that.
Yeah.
That matters. And I'm like, just you, like, as a person running this business, all of the things that you go through, like as a business owner, you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a CEO, like you have this experience in corporate marketing. I know that comes with a lot. That is a lot of knowledge and information to hold. And people are leaning on you, of course. Like you are a spouse, you are a mom. What are some routines you follow every day or regularly at least?
I have to have my coffee. I am a
How much coffee?
girl.
Oh, you don't. Me and her being a coffee hater. You said that's not me.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Me and her coffee rants. No,
was so
I am
funny.
a coffee girl. I am an espresso martini girl. No, I have to start with a crazy cup of coffee every morning. Every
We love
morning.
coffee.
I also have a little bit of mom time every day in the kitchen by myself before the house is up.
What time do you get up?
6:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could do 6:30.
Yeah, 6:30.
The 4 a.m. people
Mm-mm.
count me out.
Mm-mm.
I be going to bed at like 2.
Yeah, me too, because I have to talk to China.
See?
Yeah, so I'm always up real late. But yeah, I like to be in the kitchen, have a little quiet time before chaos erupts in the house or whatever. I make my kids their lunches every day, pack their book bags and that sort of thing, and hug my man.
Okay, period. What are some personal non-negotiables do you have? Like, I'm not going for X.
Disrespect.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like running a consumer-based business, disrespect come to your front door often.
It does. And not trying to you try not to take things personal and that sort of thing, but also like you want to be treated. I said this in my stories not too long ago. It's just like, I ain't no mom and pop shop. You know what I mean? If I was, I wouldn't have to be paying all these taxes like I am. Right? And so you want to be seen and treated as such, you know? So I feel like sometimes smaller business get the short end of the stick as far as how people approach you. And, you know, we're talking about numbers and all that type of stuff. I don't talk about money like that.
Yeah.
I don't post, the first time I made $1 million or whatever.
When is the first time you made $1 million?
Year 2.
Oh, wow. That was quick.
Year 2.
That pandemic, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. I did 500,000 my first year. And then I did 2.6 the second year.
What has been your biggest share so far?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much did you make?
I can't say.
Okay. That's fair. Can you give me a ballpark around about upwards of
slow and steady?
Okay.
How about we say?
You said your bit. You said first was 500,000, second was 2.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
can do some math.
Yeah.
And we ended up at that 18. I can do some long division. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I feel like when people don't talk about their numbers or lead with that, especially black women, black female entrepreneurs and that sort of thing, we want to be taken seriously.
Absolutely.
Right? But I never want to lead with numbers. And I learned that from Mia too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mia's like, she's Jeff Bezos. Right? And people like, don't be knowing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so trying to treat it, I was like, that's Oprah. You know that's Oprah.
You're so funny. You have called her so many names like since we got on this couch. But I also am very big on like pay transparency or like data transparency about how much money we make. Because I feel like people don't think women like us can make money that is a certain way with the type of products that we sell.
Exactly. That is so true. So it's like this like
back and forth.
This back and forth.
That's a hard space.
That you want to be private. You want to be private. You don't want to necessarily lead with numbers or whatever. Because I also feel like when you lead that way, then like here comes a lot more criticism.
Oh, that was the next thought from my head. Oh, she don't need me to buy nothing. Look at how much she making. Oh, she using my money that I bought on the project to go buy this. I'm like, you bought a product and I gave it to you. That's what you spent your money on.
We ain't got no problem with Jeff Bezos going to Mars or wherever. You get what I'm saying?
Going to Mars and giving his girlfriend plastic surgery 3 weeks before they wedding. None of that.
None of that. So it's just like, it's so weird that we have to kind of like show up and be like, no, guys, I'm a real business.
I'm so humble.
Like,
I don't have anything.
Yeah,
I'm just a small business owner.
I used to, and I don't know I was just really excited. But like when drops would do well or whatever, or we would do, 6-figure drops, that sort of thing. Some days I used to like post in the story, like, oh, we did 200,000 today, that sort of thing. All of a sudden my story views would be skyrocketing, bussing. Now all of a sudden, you got all these eyes on you, and you don't know if those are positive eyes.
It's safety, honestly,
it's
especially
weird.
as a Black woman.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So like you try to like you gotta think about that, like moving correctly and being private with things like that.
I think that's really important. How have you grown personally from becoming an entrepreneur?
I feel like I'm a lot more confident in myself.
Honestly, being able to put an idea in the world and it generates something back to you is the biggest confidence builder in the world.
Ever.
To me, like being on this couch and making statements and feeling confident about them enough that I'm putting them out to the masses, it do something for me that I never thought I needed.
Yeah. Or like walking down the street and seeing somebody in fancy.
Ooh, I couldn't imagine.
It is weird. It's a weird feeling. I mean, it's great and humble. But it's like, wow, like that's something that really just came from my brain.
Another thing I think about when y'all like print orders and it's just like, South Dakota. I'm just somebody from Detroit. I'm just somebody from Cincinnati. Somebody in South Dakota is buying multiple of my products.
But now all of a sudden who's creeping into our top 5 is Santa Ana, California.
I don't even know what they doing out there in Santa Ana.
I think it's somewhere like around Orange County.
Like, not the housewives got the Fancy Homebody on.
I said, okay.
Period.
I was like, this is really weird. And we had a whole bunch of orders from Germany last week.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about either, but
that's so exciting. So you done the sets, the sweatshirts, the dresses, the blankets. What's next for Fancy Homebody?
We're going to take you on an experience of scent.
Ooh.
Yeah, candles.
Candles. You know I love a candle. Oh, that's so exciting. Okay. We're going to turn on the smell-o-vision.
Yes.
Describe the Fancy Homebody scent.
So there will be a few. There will be a couple.
Multiple. You said I'm not playing small, period. I like that.
I've just always been a candle girl. Like I have to slowly but surely become a super bougie candle girl. Like I just now started getting like the snuffers and the this and the that. But I just feel like a candle just it's that cherry on top.
Always. Also, I feel like Fancy Homebody in itself like is a statement. Fancy Homebody having a scent like I'm a fancy homebody because my house smell like this. I like that.
Yes. And speaking of that, so the different scents are based on different types of houses.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The colonial, the modern.
Oh, I brought you the penthouse.
You know what? I think I see myself in a little penthouse. I'm in a little penthousey. Ooh, okay, I'm so excited.
Yes.
You are truly a treat. I'm so happy we finally got to meet in person.
Thank you so much.
So on my show, when I talk to very successful people like you, but anybody, I like to do this thing called Motivational Minute. There are thousands of people who subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are not and you watching, do it right now. I'm going to list 3 topics and you are going to give these people some words of motivation, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Advice to the shy person who wants to show up online for their business. Mind you, because you and Mia are so similar, some of these questions that I literally am about to ask you, I asked her. But anyway, the person who is shy, who wants to show up online for their business, what's some advice you would give to them?
Are you a good writer? Do you know how to talk really well? There are different ways to show up online rather than having your mug splattered everywhere.
You know what's crazy? One of my favorite Instagram pages is a page with We the Urban, nothing but quotes and videos. Like, I love that Instagram page so much. Have no idea who runs it. Like you said, if you are good with words, there is a whole lane for that. People gonna use your stuff in their photo dumps.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I feel like that is one of my marketing strategies that I still implement into Fancy Homebody is that even though when I'm posting pictures of clothing and stuff, if I have like a quote inside of my carousel, that gets shared more than the pictures of the clothes, but then that brings more customers and eyes my way about the clothes because it's being shared.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
A person who is hesitant to launch a product in a market that they feel is oversaturated.
How many different brands of bread?
I love the bread example because I'm a bread eater. Depending on my mood, I buy different types of bread. So when people talk about
what's your favorite?
Oh my God, anything brioche. A nice brioche.
Oh, you're so fancy.
Bread, honey,
Okay.
get A up in here.
Okay.
Oh, croissant bread too. I love me some croissant bread.
You sound like my mama.
Oh yeah, she got taste.
I got the Pepperidge Farm butter bread the other day.
Oh, you are rich.
baby.
I think that bread is like $6 a loaf. I could be wrong, but I bought that before. I said, wonderful, won't be buying again. It's not in the budget. It's them tariffs.
It was right. Oh, jeez. Yes. Okay.
That's good bread.
It is really good bread. Ask me the question one more time.
Okay. A person who is hesitant to launch a product in a market they feel is oversaturated.
There is no such thing. Do your own thing. I don't know nothing about what other people got going on for real.
A girl who pays attention to herself.
Like, honestly, yes, you have to do market research here and there or whatever with like super big corporations and that sort of thing. But keep your eyes on your own lane. As soon as you start worrying about whatever other person got going on, that is sooner that you're going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. There's only one of you. And I feel like that's another thing. It's just like people want to buy something from this lady named Vanessa. Is really weird. but it's like, yes, you could purchase similar items and that sort of thing. I'm not, creating some type of couture, never thought of, whatever. But I feel like I have a connection with people because of me, because of my story, because of the fact that I'm a mother, the fact that I'm from Chicago, that sort of thing. Different things about you is what's going to connect people to you.
I think that's so important because especially with like online and how like, we know phones are made to like be embedded in your brain. The more stuff you look at, the more you start to incorporate this like menagerie of ideas that you get into your idea and it becomes unoriginal. If you want to maintain your creativity and originality, you need to stop looking at what other people is doing.
I couldn't have said it better.
That's the fact of the matter. Lastly, the woman who is looking to find herself after giving birth.
Oh, I love that. I say give yourself grace. Take your time. This is such a blessing. You've created a whole human. So you have to give yourself grace and understand that it will take a little bit of time, but it's those simple little things that you can do for yourself for little pick-me-ups. I used to always have Thursday mommy days where I used to go to Target. I know you can't say Target right now.
You sure cannot. It's like, no.
But it was like that little time to myself where I used to just go through all the aisles and stuff. And it was so simple, but it was meaningful. So just it's not a race. It's not no snapback race either. Whatever, you have to embrace the fact that you just brought a human into this world, girl. And that it's going to come together.
It's going to come together eventually. It don't come together as quickly as these celebrities, but it's going to come together eventually. I love that. I feel like patience is the biggest virtue. I feel like just in a world where we want everything now and
so
instant,
fast.
We are just losing so much patience. But that's what's most valuable. And honestly, like that's the key to most of the things we're going to get in this life.
And I feel like that is also based on what you were saying about keeping a phone in our hand and looking at all this stuff. It's just like, oh, this lady's stomach snapped back quicker than mine, or this person's business did $1 million before mine, or that sort of thing. It's just, that's the sort of comparisons that can also happen. It's not always just the creative comparisons, but just looking at other people's lifestyles all the time. Like, put your phone down.
Let that go. Okay, touch some grass, live you some life.
Or watch a good show, like Friends and Neighbors.
Hey. My girl.
Yeah.
Oh, Vanessa, thank you so much. I'm so happy we got to talk. I am a miss outside type of girl.
Okay.
But after this conversation, you may have transitioned me into being a fancy homebody.
Yeah.
I might sit in the house a little more.
Yeah, girl.
Big M, like the millions. To all my homebodies out there, I know you was in a crib, so you got time to watch this very, very long episode. If you like it, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to the Uprising Network. Until next time, Bye, friends.
Bye.
See y'all.